We're going to try the base case here. I'm going to do 3 replicates so that hopefully you can avoid having to do some of this stuff yourself. I wanted just before let's just close that and just have a look at the spreadsheet briefly. What I've done is I've copied over the BMI information from the case. And what I'm looking to do is create sort of a proxy customer here and then use that proxy customer, have that proxy customer go through both tracks A and B. So what I did to get the mean is I just took the sum product of the procedure times and the weights. Okay, just zoom in here. I guess I need to. Let's try 125, 120. Yeah, so this is just the sum product of those 2 selections. And then to get the variance, I have to square the standard deviation, that's just the square of this column, and I also square the weights. And then I take the sum product of those 2, and I take the square root of that. So this guy here is sum product of these 2 and square root of that total. So that motivates the 100.71 and the 8.09 that I have in my simulation model. Notice that it's present here in track A. I just want to show you that. The reason I mention this is because when we do the scenarios, we're going to be changing this. So it's normal of 8.09, mean of 100.71, and the same is true down here. 8.09, 100.71. Right, let's run it. You need to be careful which model you're running. So I am selecting the hip-hop case here. It'll spawn the output window. Now we are going to run for 570 minutes because that captures the idea that we run from 7:30 to 5 p.m. We're all going to have some incomplete surgeries in place, but I'd like to assess, how many I actually get done by the 5 p.m. hour. And we're going to measure this as the ones that I really guess make it all the way to completion here. We have to clean their OR as well. You might look at the ones that complete surgery, but I'll leave that up to you. So I'm going to just watch this for a little while with you. We're ticking along at 1x. I've got 2 patients in the system. The first patient came in here, got registration, has completed the anesthesia process and is now in surgery. You can see the color coding of the utilization, by utilization of the anesthesiologists, of the surgeon pool, and of the operating rooms. Because there's a warm-up here, those utilizations are rising. There was no utilization of the surgeries at the outset, but through the day, they're going to obviously be used more. And we probably expect to see the operating room used about 50% of the time because they can only be used by a surgeon and anesthesiologist pair, and there are 2 of them. So if they were both used 50%, that would be a lot. And the registrar has very low utilization. So there's still a warm-up going on here. You can see the first person is still in surgery. It's 90 minutes in now. Let's speed it up just a tad. The first person has just completed surgeries. The person down here has completed surgery. And the second person is now in surgery down here and here too. You can see the first completion, 144.11 minutes, this one 150.1. So I'm going to now go ahead and just run it all the way out to 570 minutes to run through the day. And I run that out to completion. And I had 4 completions here. The 5th person is actually in surgery at 5 p.m. Same here. And you can see that there's quite a difference in the mean flow time as measured from the time they start to the time that the OR in which they received surgery is finally cleaned. So you can mark this down as replicate 1. I'm going to do 2 more for you. What is interesting here is that the pacing of the arrivals every 90 minutes is very much faster than how long it takes to get done here. seems to be around 3 hours plus as things now stand. So you may want to slow down the arrival process so that folks are not just waiting around needlessly when they come in. So I go to the other key page here. That's where I change the random number generator. I'm going to just change it to 2, literally anything other than what you had for the first one, and we'll run it. So this is the base case. Now, if you feel you need more replicates, that's fine. I got 4 done here again. Oh, this one's bad. 220, 218. And I think you can see that the most heavily utilized resource is the anesthesiologist, followed by the surgeon, followed by the operating rooms. So although you might, so they busy only 52% of the time. Interesting. And then one more time, make it 3 and run it. So given the variabilities we're seeing, might do a 4th one for you. Run this out. 208, 229. So you've got all the utilizations. Let's just walk through that. The utilization on the registrar very low. Anesthesiologist obviously very high, 96, 95. Surgeons 64, 68. EVS pool 12%. Operating rooms 41 and 43 across the day. I think these 54 and 50 and 54 are sort of a short run estimate of what the utilization looks like. Let's just do one more. Just trying to get this adjusted back. So when you approach the issue of scenario generation, generally speaking, you're going to be interested in working to alleviate the bottlenecks. This is something that you learned as a lesson in chapter 1 from the theory of constraints, and so the anesthesiologist, is the bottleneck as things now stand. So last one. Okay, so 208, 219. All right, so that is the base case, and we will explore some, how to analyze some scenarios in this case in subsequent clips.